Today we're going to be looking at unemployment. We're going to discuss some things about unemployment in the past, what's been going on lately with it, especially with the pandemic, and we're going to be talking about what's possibly going to be coming in the future for us when it comes to unemployment. And stick around to the end because we'll give some tips and things that you can do right now that can give you some money if you're having difficulty getting unemployment. Let's jump in. Hi, I'm Tyler from the Rideshare Guy. Today we're talking about unemployment. Now, many of us have become much more aware of unemployment than we ever have before, especially with everything going on, the pandemic. Unemployment's been around since the 1930s. We had the Great Depression and they had things tried to work then. And now it's to the point where, as we experienced firsthand, unemployment is a bit outdated on how everything worked. So for instance, the largest amount of unemployment at one time in 1 week ever before the pandemic was in 1982. And that year, the week ending September 18th, saw 680,000 people claim benefits for the first time. So a lot of people at one time. But taking a look at that again with our pandemic, so the week ending March 21st of 2020 saw 2.9 million first-time unemployment claims, more than 4 times the previous record. Then the weekly tally stayed above 1 million for months. So for the entire year of 2020, we saw higher record first-time unemployment applications than we saw in the worst week previous to that. So that caused a lot of issues. There's been tons and tons of articles. We've talked about it here on the channel about how a lot of people weren't able to get unemployment for a long time. I myself was not able to get unemployment because of all of the craziness. In fact, when I put an appeal in, it took about 6 months almost for me to even hear back on what to do for an appeal. So I wasn't able to get it. We're still working on that. It's over 6 months later because the way that the system was designed, it was not designed for 2.9 million people to at one time try to get unemployment benefits. So it simply went down. A lot of people weren't able to get it. A lot of people still haven't been able to get it. There's been some massive improvements, but still there's a lot of work to be done. Fortunately, as we see here, not only was it unprecedented numbers, but the government put some unprecedented amount of money behind it and some resources. And so we're able to handle quite a bit, even though some and a lot of people weren't able to get it. And still, like I said, myself, have had issues with it. There were a lot of people that it benefited, were able to get at first $600 extra a week from federal unemployment, then additionally $300 for additional weeks after that. Even now, all the way through till September of this year, still able to get that $300, most people. So they're able, that system is still in place. But obviously the goal is that if something were to happen like this, or even worse, something worse than this happened and even more people, what do we have in line for that in the future? Well, we have Senator Ron Wyden, who's the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, and he's had a huge influence on the things that have already happened, and he's working with other lawmakers, taking the lead and working with specifically a Senator Michael Bennet, trying to completely overhaul the unemployment insurance system, which would include creating new unified federal website where workers can apply, updating the back end to work faster and more efficiently, and more importantly, creating more generous benefits on a permanent basis. So some hope for us in the future, for things to get better. We know that a lot of us had difficulty. I know in Florida, the website itself wouldn't work. It would take hours and hours and hours just to even log in, to check on things, just to put information in. If you called someone, you would be on the phone for hours trying to get a hold. In fact, for us, many times we would call and it would simply say there's no one available to take your call, and it would hang up, and you would just have to call back and call back and call back. So things like that they're trying to avoid for the future, which is great. But in addition to having a better service for you to get the claims and put the information in and get help when you need it, they're actually trying to increase the amount that you'll get and the length that you'll get it. So many states are currently 13 weeks, and 50% of your income is what the unemployment typically is. With the federal programs, obviously people are getting more than that. But moving forward, they're trying to get for 26 weeks and 75% of your income. So they're not only trying to increase the length and amount of time that you'll get unemployment to help you out, but they're also trying to help you get more money. In addition, as rideshare drivers, one of the problems we had, especially when everything first started, was we don't get unemployment. We're technically self-employed. So as rideshare drivers, we don't get unemployment. The new program is the PUA, which gives gig workers income as well through the unemployment system, which is fantastic for us. A lot of people have been able to get a lot of money with that and to help them out. But the reason it's not in there is because, again, unemployment started back in the 30s. So they didn't have gig workers back then. They didn't have things like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and Postmates and all that. They simply had people that typically worked, and they had business owners. And business owners didn't get unemployment. Only those that worked regular jobs did. So with the new overhaul that they're working on, they're including the gig workers in that as well. So hopefully all of this goes through. It'll likely be involved with Biden's plans moving forward. Hopefully they get support on both sides of the aisle, but we'll be keeping a close eye on this, especially with everything going on. But what about right now? What are some things that you can do to get some extra money right now, especially if you've been unable to get unemployment? Well, the number one thing that you can do is to sign up for the PPP. In the description below, we'll have our link for our favorite service, Womply. You can check previous videos. We have a few videos showing step-by-step exactly how to apply. I myself was approved for about $10,000. Jay, in another video, was approved for about $26,000. And he's already got his first draw. Mine's already been approved. I'm just waiting for my first draw to come. So we're waiting on that, but those are great ways for you to get it. So sign up for get a PPP, use Womply. It's our favorite service to do so. Helps you, very easy. Check that out. In addition, simply you can go out and drive. There still are, especially right now, a lot of incentives. I've been working on an incentive that Uber gave me, and essentially with all the quests that they gave me, the guarantee that they gave me, it's going to be roughly $2,000 for 100 deliveries. I'm just doing Uber Eats right now, just for safety reasons. So about 100 deliveries is going to get me roughly $2,000. I haven't got the full number yet because part of it's that guarantee, but I should have that soon, and I'll know exactly how much I got. But a lot of money right now that Uber's put in. They put in what they're calling their driver stimulus. So they put $250 million behind trying to give guarantees and quests and bonuses. They've got referrals in certain areas as well. I was able to refer a friend of mine, and it'll get me $200 for them getting their first 100 rides. So a lot of great ways to make money right there, and you can get out and drive yourself even without that and still make decent money right now. So a lot of great ways that we can make money right now if we're unable to get that unemployment. So thank you. Please leave a comment below, ask any question. We read every single one. Please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. New episodes come out almost every single day, definitely every single week. And we really appreciate everything that you guys do. And stay safe out there, everyone.